What's up everybody, James aka MogulBound, and in this video I actually did my first sales conference with one of our new companies, Hire Like Fire. It's a digital virtual HR company where we actually staff assistants into people's companies, and we're focused on a couple of positions right now. And then right after that I had my other business partner walk into the door and we went into about a 4-hour meeting with our parent company Krenz for digital marketing. Hope you enjoy.
So I have essentially started this company because I've spent the last 3 to 4 years hiring, training, and facilitating people from the Philippines into my digital marketing agency. That company has about 14 full-time employees. It is very successful now, and I'm starting obviously to look into other directions to start building more brands. So I thought to myself, well, you know, I've already been growing a business very well by utilizing the opportunities that exist in the Philippines. And I've already helped some of my friends start to grow their businesses and even just implement people into their business to help them grow, to help them do more per day at a very cost-efficient way. And through both my experience and helping a few of my friends' companies, it was just so obvious. This is a huge benefit for the United States to utilize to be able to grow and expand and get quality workers consistently. So the mission here is really simple. I want to focus on 2 things to provide to start with. I know that the homepage of our website has a lot of positions, and originally I thought that that was a good idea, but after calling businesses myself, calling colleagues, calling friends, calling everybody that has some kind of level of C-level executive position, and asking them for feedback on what they need, what they would be willing to hire, and even facilitating people into their business already myself, this is what I've learned. I've learned that virtual assistants is for sure the most interested position that I have gotten feedback for. The second one is admin assistant. The third one is social media manager. Customer service rep, this is really for established businesses. I think that we're gonna start providing customer service reps to people that have already hired us for 1 or 2 virtual assistants or admin assistants or social media managers, because they're starting to grow and they're starting to have a lot more customers. At that point, they would need customer service rep/team. But for existing companies that have already been doing business for a long time, I don't think that it's going to be an easy sale whatsoever to try to get them to stop using whatever customer service team or employee or system or platform that they're already using and jump onto ours. So I wouldn't focus on that. And I think graphic and web designers I'm going to take off the rosters. And here's why. I want to specialize at giving virtual assistance to realtors right now. If we can just focus on one niche, it will be a lot easier not only to figure out how to sell a virtual assistant to that niche, but it will also be a lot easier to become experts at assisting that one job role. There is amazing resources that we're using to train our virtual assistants to be the best assistant possible for realtors, which is really exciting. The other position, the second position that I want us to focus on, is providing sales reps. I don't have that up here right now, but I will have that up here before this week is over. You guys are all sales reps already. Appointment setters, right? Lead generators, and simple product and service selling type positions. So I don't want to focus on that right now because I don't have a lead list for you right now, but I just want you to keep your mind open to those 2 positions that I want us to focus on as a team as a whole, okay? So I'm going to, that was my introduction. I'm going to let you guys guide me into what you want me to talk about and focus on. I think I was very thorough with the employment portal that we created, but I'm sure that there's a few missing gaps and things that I did not clearly articulate. So John, Mart, and you know, Manu keeps connecting, but he's not actually joining, it doesn't seem. I keep seeing like a little pop-up saying Manu is viewing, but then he disappears. You guys have the floor. Where do you want me to start today in today's meeting? You're going to have to unmute yourself to talk, by the way, guys.
Hi, James.
Hey,
I think we can go start at the top where we get our contacts.
Leads, yes. Great place to start. This is probably the best database that I can possibly imagine using. It's realtor.com/real estate agents. And the reason why I think this is the best place to work out of is because you get direct numbers to realtors. And let me tell you something, guys. A realtor is their own business owner. They are the business owner. They are the realtor. They are the salesperson. They are admin. They are billing. They are tax prep. They are everything in their own business. They are social media management. They are web design presence management. They are reputation management. They literally facilitate every job role in their business until they start selling a lot of homes. And then they start hiring people to help them. So we are perfect to facilitate to them. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to type a city, right? So Los Angeles. I'm from Los Angeles. That's why I would type that. But also LA is a great place to look. Why? Because there's 5,000 realtors in LA alone registered in this database. What I would do is I would filter this by most for sale listings all. The reason why I would filter by that is because this person with 225 homes listed in the MLS database, they're not going to hire us. Welcome to the call, Manu. I'm so glad you were able to make it. I am recording this, so I will send you this and you'll be able to watch the first part of it. I would not call anybody that has anything over 15 listings for sale. What that means is they literally have this number right here, for sale number, they have contracts from the homeowner signed saying that they're the only ones eligible to sell the home, and they've listed the home with the MLS database. The MLS database is a government managed, helped managed kind of oversight listing service where it's absolutely against the law not to list your home for sale when you have a contract as a realtor unless it's a private listing, and almost all homes are public listings. So this number is literally how many homes they have contracted to be able to sell, and they're for sale on the market. What that means, 19 homes, that means these people are making a crap ton of money a year. They're already hiring people. They're already working with people. I don't think they're good leads. So I would start with 15 for less, and even 15 is kind of, they're really busy. They've probably been doing real estate for 3 to 15 years at minimum. This is a much better place to start, like 11. And I would call every single one of them, right? So you have Ron Smith. You have probably his cell phone number right here. Probably all of these people's numbers are their cell phone number. And if it's not, it's an office number. And if it's an office number, ask to be directed directly to them because you found them on realtor.com. Don't answer any other questions. Just get to the person's name that you're reading and go through the pitch. It's really simple what we're trying to get across on the phone. Okay, so let's jump over the script really quick. Okay, so script. Let's say I'm calling Tracy Tudor, right? The phone rings. I call this number, the phone rings, and a woman's voice answers and says, hello, and I go, hey, is this Tracy? And of course she goes, yeah, this is Tracy. Hey Tracy, just curious, are you still in real estate full-time? Yeah, I'm in real estate full-time. What's up? Well, awesome. I was calling you today because we specialize in staffing social media managers and virtual assistants specifically for realtors. And I'd just like to earn a few minutes of your time so I can explain how much value I can offer at an extremely affordable rate. Do you have like 3 to 4 minutes right now, Tracy? I would gauge what I just did as like an A- opening. Why would I gauge that as an A- opening? Because the first 2 questions I ask, of course the answer is yes. And if the answer is no, don't even pitch. You got the wrong person. They're not in real estate. Forget it. Just let it go. But I'm asking those two questions because I am training the person on the phone to say yes. Hey, is this Tracy? Yeah, this is Tracy. Hey, Tracy, are you still in real estate full-time? Yeah, I'm in real estate full-time, right? Then the next question I ask her, more likely she's willing to say yes now because she already said yes twice, right? Do you just have 3 or 4 minutes now so I can show you and tell you what I'm trying to do for you? You know, yeah, okay, sure, why not? I'm kind of busy. And you know what? I'll be honest with you guys. I need to add questions. Lots of questions. And I will add those questions today because there's a lot of questions that I would ask Tracy before I even go into this pitch, right? So some questions that I would ask at this point in a phone call. Awesome, Tracy. Hey, just curious, do you employ people right now? I'm just going to go ahead and write that. Another question that I would ask Tracy after she answers that question. I see that you have blank listings for sale right now on Realtor.com. Do you typically have this many listings or more? That's a great question to ask because I'm qualifying how busy she is and if she is used to hiring employees. The reason why this first question would be very vital is because I want to understand the experience level of this business owner in growing a business. If the business owner says, no, I don't have employees right now, I would say, have you ever had employees for this business or another business? All right, because I want to know the experience level that she is in managing people and hiring people, because if you're talking to a business owner that has not hired anybody in any business before, they do not understand the value in hiring an assistant and hiring a first employee to help their business grow. They straight up don't get what it can do for them. And that's going to be your main point to pitch them with, is to show them the value, okay? If they have employed people before, and they're used to it and they know what it brings to them, then what you want to do is pitch the savings, the cost benefits of hiring a virtual assistant at only $170 a week, and we take care of all of the taxes, liability, insurance, benefits, etc. And all they have to do is pay one bill. They don't even have to handle payroll, billing, anything. We take care of almost everything for them. As a business owner, I'll tell you right now, guys, all of those things I just listed off, the taxes, the liability, the insurances, the benefits, and there's a couple other things that go into employee management. That is the biggest headache that a business owner can possibly imagine trying to do on their own for the first time. And that is usually why a business owner does not start to hire employees, is because they just don't know. They're overwhelmed and they don't know how to get over like how much work and how much knowledge and experience that they're going to have to get through to be good and to be safe, for it not to be a liability for them to hire people into their company. So those are the two different focus points that I have been pitching on, and you guys should be pitching on too. Just to reiterate one more time, if they've hired employees, then you want to go over how simple, easy, and manageable it is to go through us, because we take care of all of the noise that they are used to and had to take care of in the past. If they have not hired people, it's because they're more than likely afraid of committing to their finances, or they're afraid of taking care, or they're afraid of managing and going through the liability and all the other aspects. So, you know, really make sure you're asking good questions when you get them to say, yeah, I've got a couple minutes. Awesome. Do you have employees right now? Have you ever had employees for this business or another business? Oh, cool. Well, Tracy, I see that, you know, you have 9 listings for sale right now on Realtor.com. Right here, 9 listings. Do you typically have this many listings or more? And how long have you been doing real estate full time? That's probably one of the last questions I would ask before I then give her more value. Okay, so 4 or 5 questions. I can't just ask a whole bunch of questions because she'll get bored. And she'll be like, what the hell? Why are you asking me a million questions? You haven't even told me anything. You just told me you were going to tell me stuff. Well, I have a few minutes. Tell me something, right? So that's what she's going to think if you don't move on to giving her more value. Okay, so, well, I've been in real estate for 4 years. Awesome. That's really good information to know. Well, listen, Tracy, we know after working with realtors a lot that it's very easy to become overwhelmed with things like having strong social media presence, with relevant content, email management, document prep, research and development. And you know, I'm sure you spend a lot of time scheduling and confirming appointments. And then after you do and run your leads and your open houses, you know, how much time do you spend doing data entry and CRM management, database management? And I'm sure you have a whole lot more stuff I'm not even listing here. So because we know how much noise there is in the real estate business, we developed this outstanding virtual HR company that helps facilitate some or all of these things for realtors and other types of industries. We handle recruiting, interviewing, pre-training, time management, payroll, taxes, benefits, and HR duties such as evaluations, write-ups, and quality control checkups, so that all you have to do is delegate all your busy work to your new assistant. There needs to be some kind of takeaway from this. Takeaway. I will think of a takeaway. I don't have one on off the top of my head, but there needs to be a takeaway after giving that much value. And a takeaway is something like a temperature gauge, a tie-down question, something that confirms A, she listened or he listened to what I just pitched them, and B, they're still interested, right? You always want to be taking those temperature gauges. So I'll figure something out. I'll put this in here a little later today. And then this is really, at this point, if they're interested, they're going to have a lot of questions. And you're going to want to do your best to answer those questions. But at a certain point, it's very vital that you stop them and you go, because look, there's two things that are going to happen at this point in the call. A, you're going to be the closer yourself, or B, you don't know where to go to close this person, so you need to set an appointment so that I can close them for you. I'm not going to do that for every deal that you guys have, but your first 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 deals, just book appointments for me. I will close them to the best of my ability, and you can count on me closing like 30% or more of all the appointments that you send my way. So they would ask questions, and I would answer maybe 2 or 3 questions, and then I would cut them off and I go, hey, Tracy, I've got a couple really important questions for you, right? Okay, James, what's up? What is the busy work that you're already abandoning because you're too busy? Like, what have you already just given up on in your business over the last, how many years did she say she was in business? I would fill in the blank, right? Over the last how many years, like what are you giving up on already, right? Is it social media? Is it direct mailing campaigns? Is it email campaigns? Is it your website? Like, where have you just stopped and given up? Get all the information you can, because this is your ammo. This is how you close. You ask amazing questions, right? Next question. And what kind of busy work are you doing right now? Because it's extremely important to you to keep up on, but again, it's just busy work that's mundane and repetitive. What is that stuff you're doing? And you get all the information, again, because this is ammunition to help you close, right? Well, Tracy, right, prospect's name, I think you definitely need a fill in the blank. If it's just a few things they're letting go by and they're not that busy, suggest a part-time. But if they're super busy and swamped, man, Tracy, you definitely need a full-time assistant to help you with these tasks. Let me tell you how easy it is to get started. That's a good transition here. Let me add this. So let me tell you how easy it is to get started, Tracy. We actually have a quote-unquote cancel anytime 21-day trial period. And what that means is that, you know, you can get started for a very low liability and risk position to try out one of our virtual assistants to see how much of an impact they're going to make on your business. So obviously I just added all of that off the top of my head. I will write that in later. I know for sure, Tracy, that you're going to see the full potential and value of what we can do for your business during these 21 days. And let me just tell you the process really quick. After you sign up, we give you a welcome packet and schedule a time to show and teach you all the tools and processes that we've used over the last many years working with virtual assistants. And we're going to make sure that you really understand how to use this assistant efficiently. What I'd like to do at this time, because it sounds like you're interested, I'm sorry for not having all this in, but all these good ideas are coming. So what I'd like to do now, because it sounds like you're interested, is I'd like to schedule a time for you to talk with our CEO, James, who founded this company and has already built a few online businesses himself that are fully automated thanks to his team of virtual assistants. Are you available later today, or would tomorrow be better? Yeah, well, I'm glad I recorded this. This was a really good run through on the script. I'm going to stop for a second. Please ask me questions because I need to drink something, replenish my voice. Cricket. Cricket, cricket. Yes, Mark.
Yes, if we actually went right off the bat, like, hey, are you still in real estate full-time? You know, all of these questions we laid out. But for customer-facing scenario, we didn't even mention we're calling, coming from, like, the company name.
Yes, and there's a very good reason for that, Mart. You do not want to sound like a salesperson. You're cold calling, right? And in the world of 2019, Happy New Year, everybody, all that we get is, like, I gotta be honest with you guys, I get like 3 to 5 calls a day from robots. From auto dialers that are recorded robots, which, by the way, I'm looking into doing so that I can have inbound leads come to the sales reps. For instance, like I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent here, and then I'm going to answer your question. I promise you, Mark. My goal is to finish my web scraper so that I can systematically go through every city in the United States and scrape the first name, the company name, the cell phone number, or whatever number this is, how many first sales they have and how many sold, and what their experience is, and this data, right? I'm going to try to scrape every single record in this entire database and put it into spreadsheets. Then, of course, yes, you guys can use those spreadsheets to call. You don't have to use this database anymore. But the next step of that process is I actually want to get an auto dialer system, record my own voice, basically doing the opening pitch, and then having, if you'd like to be connected now to learn more information about how we can help you grow, press 1. And then you guys just sit there and wait for the phone to ring, because those will be people that pressed 1 that want to hear more information about getting an assistant. So that is my goal, but the whole point in me saying that is I would never say, hey, this is James from Hire Like Fire, because first of all, nobody cares. And every salesman in the world out there is going, hey, my name's James. I'm calling from Hire Like Fire. Do you have a minute? No. No, I don't have a minute. You're trying to sell me something. But if I call and go, hey, is this Tracy? Yeah, this is Tracy. Hey, Tracy, are you still in real estate full-time? Yeah, I'm still in real estate full-time. As Tracy, I have no freaking clue why you're calling, but I have to assume that you might be a potential lead, so I'm paying attention to you. Do you see how that's different?
Yes.
Cool.
I get the point.
Cool.
Yes, yeah.
Awesome. More questions?
About the
21-day cancel period, are they paying for that, or would there be any obligations at all?
Yes, yes, of course. The deposit fee for part-time is $150. And that's to get started. That's basically for us to go and grab somebody in our arsenal of assistants and make sure that they are available, qualified, and then set up interviews for the client that is getting an assistant. They get to interview or they get to interview 3 people of our choice, and they pick whoever they want to use. Then we do one last round of training and qualifying, and then we teach the client how to use Slack, how to use Asana, and how to use Hire Like Fire in everything else that they, excuse me, got the hiccups, that they need, so that it's very efficient to get started. All of that is covered in just the one little deposit fee that they pay. Then of course they have to pay, if it's part-time, our rates start at $170 a week. That is what they have to pay every week. But during those 21 days, they're able to cancel at any time. It's a trial period. As soon as they get to the 22nd day, the contract automatically renews to a 6-month period. Oh, that's something to add. Nino, please make me a task in Asana to create a contract training tab in the employment portal. I need to educate everybody on how the contract works.
All right. Noted.
Thank you. And see what just happened right there. I just asked Nino to make a task in Asana where I have all of my tasks, and that's part of what we are going to be training the clients on how to do, how to use their assistants to the best of the ability that they can, so that it's very easy to get work done and task manage. Yes, next question. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hey James.
Yes.
So once we close the sale, we need to route them or the client to you and Indu, right? So our I guess our job ends there.
Yeah, pretty much as soon as the sale is made, the deposit, you pass it off. Either Nino will take the floor from there, or I will take the floor. Realistically, both Nino and I will take the floor for the next couple weeks, for at least the first, handful or two of sales. And then I am going to pass the baton to Nino to do that continuously from there. And just so that everybody's clear, my presence here as the sales manager is only going to be here until somebody has proven themselves to be worthy of being the sales manager. I want to hire the best salesman to be the sales manager. I don't want to be the sales manager. I'm very good at it, which is why I will do it until I don't need to do it anymore. But there's other aspects of the business that I would like to spend my time on. And currently I'm managing 3 businesses. So I only have enough time to dedicate so much per day towards each of the avenues that I'm running. So I can't wait until one of you guys kills it, because I want to promote one of you guys, and I want you guys to run sales meetings and take the TOs and close for the team, etc.
This is exciting. Good luck, guys.
Good to hear that. Good to hear that, James.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. More questions or comments, feedback, haiku poetry. I mean, don't really give me haiku poetry. I had an assistant at an office. We had an office last year for our digital marketing agency, and I had an assistant there. And I said that, and then for a week she came in and wrote haikus on my whiteboard, and man, that was annoying.
By the way, Jane.
Yes.
I just have a question. I will just echo the concern. The Realtor.com, should we create a system or assign a zip code to them so that they will not overlap each other?
Honestly, guys, I'm not even worried about overlap, and you guys should not be worried about it either. Because if I call Cynthia today, and then one of you guys calls Cynthia tomorrow, she's more likely to say yes tomorrow.
Oh.
I'm dead serious. Like, most people on cold calling, they will say no just because they've had bad experiences of saying yes to people on cold calls. But if they keep hearing the same reference and they need what you're offering, they're more likely to just give in and be like, all right, tell me about it. And a new voice, like, I can't tell you how powerful a new voice is, guys. Okay, so like in my first sales job, I was 18 years old and I worked at Sunrise Ford in North Hollywood. And I was terrible. I was still battling social disorders from high school and middle school. I still like blushed really brightly in the face anytime I felt awkward, which was like 80% of the time. I had no idea what to say next. I was just kind of like winging it. I had no idea what I was doing, where I was going, how I was doing it. And I had no clue how to close deals, okay? But here's what I did. They had small offices in the showroom floor. We were all supposed to be outside waiting for people to drive onto the lot or walk onto the lot and then claim them and be like, oh, that person's mine. And like whoever claims first gets to go over and run the lead. But I was very bad at claiming people because I wasn't confident, I wasn't quick, etc. So I took a different strategy. I asked to use one of the offices every day, and I asked to use the old leads, the leads that had come onto the lot and did not buy. And all I did every day was stay on the phones for about 2 to 3 hours. I would call 50 to 100 people every day, and I would say, hey, you guys were on the lot, and I don't know, who helped you, but they obviously didn't help you as good as I would help you. Otherwise, you'd be owning a car right now. So I'm just calling. Are you guys still in the market? Do you guys still want a car? Can I give you that customer service that you expected to get here? And I would just literally say that over and over and over and over again, and you would be surprised how many people were like, you know what, you're right. I didn't really feel good when I was with so and so. Yeah, I'll come down. You sound fun. You sound good. Let's go check out a car together. And I became the #1 salesperson at that company by calling all the leads that everybody failed on. So don't worry about calling people that have already been called. It's a good thing.
Okay.
Next question.
Can you go over the CRM?
Yes. What aspects of the CRM would you like me to go over?
Since we are only uploading interested leads right now, I guess we can teach them how to create a contact.
Sure. So once you're logged in, and don't worry about all this stuff, I'm in the old HubSpot. It is filled with all kinds of nonsense. All you got to do is go here, contacts, and go to contacts. You don't want to add companies because they're actually individuals that we're adding. And yes, they have a company or they're with a company, but they don't do companies. Do contacts for realtors. Real simple. All you got to do is enter their email, their first name, and their last name, which is why it is essential that we get those 3 points of data for the appointment. Anyone that says, yes, I'm interested, or please call me back, or yeah, to any degree they say yes and it's not a no, get their email address immediately, because we need that email address to enter into the CRM. So you enter email, and I'll just enter myself for now. Oh, okay. Then I'll enter. HubSpot is really amazing because it fishes for data, and it fishes really well. And what that means is by entering the URL, it will actually go and search the whole internet for information pertaining to this potential person. And I should put website up here, although it's not really necessary for this kind of sale. So a couple of really simple tips and tricks in here. Whatever happened on the phone, you guys are taking notes somewhere. Copy and paste all those notes into here as soon as you create this contact, and save the note. What's amazing about HubSpot is it keeps like the best tracking data I have ever seen of any CRM ever.
Obviously, I've been doing sales for a long time. I've used like 15, 16, 17 different CRMs, public ones and private ones that were made custom for companies. I'm promise you, this is the best CRM I've ever seen in my life. Email. When you make your first sale, we're going to give you a company email, which means you can then integrate that company email into HubSpot and start doing emails from HubSpot right here. So like I can do an email to myself, what is my email? James C's, okay, sure. Testing this. Hey, did you get this? And press send. Now 2 things happen. 1, it logs that I just sent an email and everything about the email. 2, and I'm on another tab right now, give me 1 second. It should have emailed me. Look at this, there it is. MogulBound from hirelikeFire@gmail.com. That's the email address that I'm registered with because that's the admin account on the old whatever. Hey, did you get this? So it perfectly sends an email and logs that I sent an email. Amazing stuff. Calls. I don't have calls integrated into this, and we won't for any foreseeable future. I don't think that I ever will because I'm going to go with the auto dialer system. But you guys are making calls. Log the call. Log activity. Log a call. Log an email. Log a meeting. If you did anything that is outside of HubSpot, log that so that you have a very detailed track record of what's going on. This also helps me because if I'm going to go and close your leads for you, how do you think I close leads? I use every bit of data possible. The amount of times it takes to call them to get them on the phone. If they don't answer 5 times and then they answer the 6th time, I know that I can probably call that person 3 times in a day and won't bug them because they're very busy. They just don't answer the phone. So I will call them 3 times in a day. But if you don't have any tracking data and they don't answer the phone, well, I don't have any information to go off of. Because here's the thing, is like what I just presented. If I assume that they're busy and they don't answer the phone and I call them 3 times in a day and they answer the phone on the 3rd time and they're mad at me, I'm going to throw it in their face that you guys called them 6 times and then they answered. So why are you getting mad at me for calling you 3? All of the data helps. Every bit of data helps, I promise you. So please, please, please log everything. Set an outcome. No answer, busy, wrong number, left live message. I don't know what that means, but left voicemail and connected, right? So if I log a call, I connected, was busy, asked me to call later. Log activity, right? When did they ask me to call? Let's create a task. You can either do a task or you can schedule. Scheduling will actually register it to Google Calendar integration. So scheduling is an amazing thing because you can title the meeting and you can describe what's happening. We will call you from this phone number. And then I don't have it integrated right now, but I highly suggest all of you guys integrate your Google account calendar into this, because what that means is by pressing save, it will go directly into my calendar immediately, and it will send an invite to this contact, and it will ask them to accept or decline the meeting. And if they accept, guess what? It goes directly into their calendar as well, which means we both are reminded on our cell phones and our computers because it's in our main Gmail account or our main email account linked with Google. Amazing, amazing tools. Now, check this out. There's 2 things that I want to show you as well. You have tasks, okay? So sales tasks. If you create a task in here, this is an internal task for yourself. Maybe that's research something, maybe that's email overview, like they go, yeah, that's cool, email me some information. Or call this person and get them to schedule a time for me, right? Create a task. You can then go into sales tasks, and it's a list of all your tasks of when they're due. So you can order by due today, due this week, overview. That'll show you a calendar. Very, very fun stuff. The next very fun thing to show is the deal board. Add a deal. So let's say they say yes and they pay the deposit on the website. By the way, the website are going to have buy buttons or get started buttons on each position.
within the next few days. So what that means is if someone says, yes, I'm ready, let's get started, you just have them come to HireLikeFire.com, press on the service page that they're going to get started on, and this button, instead of this going to the contact page, this button is going to go basically to a product where they're going to check out. So they'll press this, it'll land on a product like this, and it'll have the deposit fee. It'll have a drop down, full-time or part-time. They'll click it, they'll click add to cart, and then they'll check out. On the checkout process, they're going to be presented the contract. They have to sign the contract to even check out. So they're already on the 21-day trial. They've already agreed to the contract. If they don't cancel within 22 days or 21 days, they're automatically in for a 6-month agreement with us. And then you just press add deal. Create deal. I'm sorry. Then you press create deal. Sales pipeline's fine. Deal stage. Decision maker bought in. Amount, put the amount of the deposit. The date would be the day that they paid. You're the owner. Don't worry about company because that's going to search for the company records. And we're dealing with contacts. And I can't add products, pre-saved products, because I don't pay for this yet. But I can press create, and that's totally fine with the amount. And then I can go here, and I can go to the deal board. The deal board is amazing, guys, because you won't have to ask us for anything. I will customize these columns, which means this first one will be deposit paid. This next one will be interview or contractor selected. And then the next one will be work started. And then this one will be past 21-day agreement. And your whole goal, guys, as salesmen, is to get 12 people past the agreement phase, the 21-day trial phase. And the reason for that, obviously, is because you're going to start making great money on your base income, plus your commissions every month. That was a whole lot of talking on asking for help with HubSpot. I'm going to shut up for a second. Any other questions, guys? Hey, Adam.
Yep.
What time's our next meeting?
What do you mean?
For Krenz.
I don't have one set with Justin. He did want 30 minutes with us today. I just have one with Maddie in about 30 minutes.
Okay, no worries. All right, guys, anything? Going once?
Any more questions, guys?
Going twice.
I'm good.
We're good. Are you sure? Let's take advantage of James.
Thank you, Nino.
Yeah, I may not be able to answer all your questions, but James is here.
Yeah. Yeah, and really, guys, there's no question that's off limits. Like, if you have questions of things you think is like not appropriate, I don't believe in a stupid question. So,
Anything about the payment scheme you want to discuss or something? Okay. Everybody, I think they're good, James.
okay.
James, just to do a follow-up on a prospect that wouldn't give out an email, because that's one thing that we need to collect with you mentioned about those data. And what if they don't want it? And my question is the CRM has the ability to send a text message where we send a link or the email address that you will be giving us once we have our own sale, because you will be giving us our own email address, right?
Yes. For while you get started, you can integrate your own Gmail and use your own Gmail if you want. To be really honest with you, Manu, emails suck. You know, in the entire time I have been a salesman, which is 10 and a half years now, I think that I have gotten maybe 10 deals, one deal a year from emails being a reason that I'm getting the deal. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is I do not rely on emails at all. The only thing I use emails for is like to send the contract if I need to, or to send the link for them to click one thing to go and buy what I'm telling them to buy. It's not a means for me to reach out and get somebody interested or to educate anybody, because we live in 2019, and in 2019 people have the attention span of a goldfish, which is about 3 seconds. So I don't know if I answered your whole question though, did I?
Not really.
Yeah, ask again, Manu. I want to make sure I answer it.
Yeah, like the client would be interested in our services. However, they don't want to give out their email.
Right.
What they want us to do is send a text message with a link in the email, and that's the time that they will be going to respond. So that's a potential customer, a potential callback, a potential to book an appointment for you.
Sure. Sure. Just put a fake email address in there. Put like no email at didnotprovide.com.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. No, that's a good question. And because you guys all have Google Voice accounts, you guys can actually send text messages yourself. Do you guys know how to do that?
I can't do that. I don't have idea. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nino, you wanna teach the guys how to send text messages?
Yeah, like I can take care of that later, man. I do have your Google Voice account with me.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Good question. Very good question. Any other questions?
Right. Anything else, guys?
I think that's good for today. Once again, welcome to the team. We are very excited here, and if you guys need anything, please do not hesitate. What I will say is this. I will leave you with this. If I was in your position, right? If I was a salesman getting started, knowing what I know about the compensation plan, about the company, about how to get a quick start in sales at any position, here's what my strategy would be. I would call a minimum, absolutely a minimum of 100 leads a day, 100 numbers a day, whether they answered, whether they told me to fuck off, whether they said I love you and sent me all their money, it didn't matter. I would call 100 numbers a day. And the reason why I would do that is, first and foremost, you guys need to get all of the nuts and bolts out of your mouth, all the hiccups, all the lack of confidence, all of the, you just need to get into a groove where you're like, man, I don't even need to look at a script. I don't need to think about anything. I just need to know my next first name and my next phone number to dial. And that's all you're doing is dialing. If you start hearing a voicemail, you're already looking at the next number to dial. And the reason why you need to get to that point is because sales is a numbers game. You cannot say the wrong thing to the right person. And what that means is you can literally call someone and like have the worst opening you have ever done in your life. But if they're the right person, they're literally going to sit on the phone and ask you questions to actually hear what you're talking about and then qualify themselves and then tell you, I want to buy. And you're like, shit, but I sucked. What do you mean? And that's because sales is a numbers game, right? If you call 1,000 people, you're going to get at least a deal or two. That's the theory there. So I would call 100 numbers a day because you want to build a pipeline of people that are potentially interested, and you want to get your first deal immediately so that you can start getting a base and start progressively growing in this company. I would also call a crap ton a day because you're going to show me that you're putting in the time and effort. And everyone that I see putting in the time and effort is going to get more time and effort from me, which means I'm going to be there helping you, encouraging you, motivating you, getting on the phone with your leads and closing your deals for you to get you in a successful position with HLF. Now, why is that good for me? Because I have goals, big goals. And if I can help you guys reach your goals, I will directly be helping myself reach my goals. It is a win-win situation here. So Once again, I would call 100 a day. I would ask for help anytime possible, and I would do everything in my power to get people on the phone with me, because I will get you a quick start.
All right.
Okay, great. Just to add on that, James,
Yes.
since you given it as an advice about 100 leads per day, are we going to manage it on a timely basis, right? So we can choose whatever we want anytime we want.
Yes, yes. You guys can work as much or as little as you want, and that even goes when I'm paying you a base. I know that I calculated your base on like hours per week and dollars per hour, but I got to be really, really direct with you right now. I don't give a shit how much you guys work or don't work. The only thing I care about is production, right? So if let's just fast forward like 2 months from now, let's say one of you kicks ass and you're already at 12 active employees 2 months from now. If you work 5 hours a week and somehow manage to do another 2 sales every month, I don't care. I don't care. The only thing I care about is production. I want you guys to work as little as possible and make as much as possible. I want you guys to have a very relaxed job environment. But the only way that you're going to get there is by putting in a crap ton of work and effort now to get started. So work as much as you want or as little as you want. The only thing that I'm forcing, do not call anybody in America before 8 a.m. in their time zone or after 7:30 p.m. in their time zone. Do not ever do that, because that's annoying to Americans.
All right. Clear on that, James. Thanks.
No problem. Which also means, Mark and I were talking last night, you guys can actually start calling at 9 p.m. your time, because that's 8 a.m. on the East Coast. So like Florida, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, South Carolina, like all those places on the East Coast time zone, you guys can start calling as early as 9 p.m. and then move into Central and West Coast as the hours progress in the night.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Anything else, guys?
Yes, James. Can I talk to you after this?
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks.
Cool, guys. I think we are good to go. Thank you guys so much, and Nino will get you set up with Google Voice accounts if you don't have them already, and show you how to text message very soon. And I will let you know when the next sales meeting is. It is probably going to be on Monday or Tuesday. I'll figure out and let you know. My Monday or my Tuesday.
All right. Thanks,
Okay.
James.
Of course.
James, bye. See you in a bit. Bye.
Yes, see you very soon. Bye, everybody. That was a pretty successful first sales meeting with our new staffing company. I created an automated recruiting and training portal. So we post ads and people come, they register themselves, they onboard themselves, and then they train themselves. So all those people I talked to for the first time just now that had gone through my automated training portal and obviously had a couple of fine questions. I wanted to give them a lot more of my time and energy so that they see how real of a company this is and that the opportunity is there for them. And now it's time to go work at my other company.
I think he's gonna side with Holly, is what I think.
I mean, Gary's pretty much already realized that, like, Holly sucks, and Holly's in, like, retroactive movement on managing.
To a degree, but I don't want to bank on that.
Holly told Gary it was all there. So the only way to have that conversation well with Holly and Gary is to legitimately put out there, like, hey, Holly's going off of this menu and not the live site. She's not giving us updates for what the live site is. Now, if you want all of these categories to be on the live site, or on our site, then we need to see an email that says that we were adding these categories, because currently I don't have one.
Okay.
Assuming that we don't have one, by the way.
Yeah, I think the best mode of action is to figure out what pages we already created that eliminate from that grid and just tell them flat out, we'll make a title with a clickable thing that opens up a gallery of 6 images max, and that's it. That way.
With descriptions for each one?
Sure, we can have a 2-sentence description underneath those titles.
I think they like, this one.
There's definitely descriptions on most of those.
Yeah, I think it's team building. Yeah, they had this. Like, it's pretty much what you just described, James. This is 5 images.
Yeah,
so
we'll just, whatever they have when you click all that stuff currently, we will just make a pop-up that has all of the content on whatever you click. We're not making extra pages because there's no room for it in any navigation. It doesn't make sense to have anywhere. I don't even know where they're going to want that on whatever page.
That can't be on the new site.
What can't be on the new site?
All this shit.
That's
Well, it's not going to look like that.
Well, I mean, unless we just make a new category miscellaneous.
Yeah, sure.
And then every one of those is in there, but
Yeah.
then you're like half that shit is literally a duplicate.
Well, that's what I
of
just
what
said.
We have.
I just said
we
the
just
first.
don't have the images.
I opened this conversation by saying we find the ones that we already created and we eliminate it from the grid, and then we fill in the rest and just have a pop-up with the content, because that's going to be the quickest development timeline to just make them happy and produce the website.
Yeah, the problem is that most of them are duplicates. Like what they actually
Perfect.
need to do.
So we'll get rid of everything that's a duplicate.
But it doesn't work that way because like we in the menu we've combined 4 of those, which means that one of 2 things needs to happen. Either A, they need to tell us what images out of those 4 categories they want in our menu page, or B, we need to vastly expand that menu page so that that menu page is like 9 things.
The call to action on that hero out.
On this hero?
Yeah, where's the overlay? They don't want anything overlaid?
We had to remove a bunch of stuff, like...
No. There was call to actions for each...
All this is different now because she
fucking
asked for a
Christ.
bunch of stuff to be changed.
So they asked to have all of the text, titles, and the call to action buttons on the hero of the homepage removed? Or
No,
they asked
that
for
is
new
not-
images to be put up? Because now...
Calm down. That's not something they asked for. They asked for the cart to be removed, and that's a task that I did.
Okay,
But I don't know about any of the call to actions.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to the call to actions, to be honest. This is the first time I've seen this since all these images got changed.
They're literally just destroying a functional website that I built for them. Like, if there's no title or call to action in the hero, like, people are going to land here and they're going to have much less value. They're not going to know where to go.
Well, I mean...
And I had call to actions to the 3 most important things on their website.
Given their current site now, I don't think they care.
Oh, man.
I mean, their current site is not unusable.
This is my problem that I have in development, is like, I know what's best for customers and they just destroy it.
You're right. You just named your problem.
Yeah, I
You
know.
don't care what the customer thinks. You know what's best.
Yeah. And
That doesn't matter.
But that's what we're being hired for.
All that matters is the customer's happy.
I don't believe so at all, because if you make the customer happy and you give them the website and then it doesn't do anything for them and their customers can't use it correctly, then they get mad at us.
Yeah, but taking a call to action button out doesn't destroy the site, dude.
I mean, that's one of like 5 major things that they have changed about the flow of this site now.
But that's fine. If they're happy, who gives a shit? Like,
that's why we
the
have
goal.
them sign a release.
And guess what? We get to go back and recommend new changes to them and charge them for them then.
Yeah, I know. I just like it. Just
consulting doesn't end, and that's the key there.
The best part of it is if we have upfront consulting that's all documented, and we say these are all the things that we recommend, and they choose not to go with those things, and they sign off and say I'm happy with this website, only to come back 6 months later and say, oh yeah, we just realized all those things that you recommended would have been good ideas. Okay, great, then hire us again.
I hear you, and we need to create better systems to actually have that established with written documentation to reference back to. I agree.
When we do a website, we have a wireframe. I mean, you've seen the wireframe that gets produced. That's all the tasks right there. That gets transferred into Asana.
Sure.
It gets transferred into a Google Doc, and then As they get removed, they get commented on, and we remove them.
That's very similar to what I did with LVRE. In bigger projects, it makes sense to do that with, but 4K website that should have just been like 15 pages. It doesn't really make sense.
The problem is that it makes sense all the time because otherwise we end up doing
This shit
this.
starts happening.
Yeah, and this takes so much more time that you just might as well invest the shit up front.
Sure,
Because like part of this conversation is I need to know if all those extra links are in the scope of work or not. Because if they're not, I need to go to Gary and say, this is the quote, this is the scope of work. You guys now want us to add this entirely, basically double the website
what the
page.
quote looks like?
It's pretty minimal.
I think it's minimal.
It's very minimal.
It's pretty minimal.
Right, which is why I said I need somebody to tell me when this extra shit was included.
It was never included. Nothing was ever
Did
included.
we have any layout, or did we just copy their menu? Because
No,
it looks
I
right now like we copied their
sat
menu.
down with Holly for an hour and a half and I created the new menu. It's all in a Google Doc that was documented within a week of them paying us a deposit.
The problem is because of how general the document was, that was the invoice, he sat down with them and outlined things because they hired us to take this website and remake it and make it better. And I remember in those initial stages them saying, oh, we could consolidate this and make that easier to navigate to and blah, blah, blah. But that stuff is now morphing in their minds because...
Well, and that's the problem with us creating the vision we want, is it's always going to be here and their vision's here, instead of us having the goal of creating whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, and unfortunately working with somebody like Holly, her vision, I've had conversations with her where her vision changed 6 times over the course of a 30-minute discussion. It's just like...
Okay,
it's
so...
infuriating.
I mean, it sounds like we've got 3 options here. Option 1, we give Gary a call and say, hey, these are the categories on the site we're creating. You guys need to consolidate because those are the categories. These other categories where you think you give us information don't line up with these categories. We need to know. Honestly, the site's 95% done at this point.
Yeah.
If they say, I don't want secondary notes on the items.
What do you mean?
So most of the pages on the demo site have a title. Most of the images have a title. They do not have secondary descriptive things.
Right,
Most of those pages, all the stuff
image.
needs descriptive text because we didn't take it off of their secondary menu. We took it off of the drives and stuff, and those images don't have that. So that's the real problem. Now we could go back, change out all those images, and use their secondary thing, and that most of those images have descriptions. But at this point, it's kind of like we're guessing at what they want to put on their site, because we can't take 8 images and drill it down to 2 or 4, and that be okay. Like I said, their first category, arcade games, is the first 3 things there. Their first 3 categories, and each one of those categories has 5 to 8 images in it. So, I mean, I guess we could elongate that page and make it 15 images. That's option B, is basically we take all the information they have there and find a way to incorporate it into the categories we have. Option C is we generate all those additional categories.
I'm a 1. I'm not really involved, but it sounds like we have gotten them to agree to a final amount of work twice now in the last month, and now we're about to try to do it a 3rd time. Because this is brand new. This wasn't a discussion the last 2 times.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if this was included in the original scope.
Well, in
the original agreement screws us here.
You can reference the document that I built with Holly in our first conference, and that was the scope of the job.
I have that one up in here.
That was
Okay.
it.
Can somebody throw that into internal notes for that, or
it's there.
into the info for the Asana task?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I've seen that document. The problem
That's
is,
the one I'm talking about. That's all the pages that we were supposed to create. That's the entire scope of the entire website that was discussed in an hour-and-a-half consultation.
okay,
Because it
so
says navigation and page outline.
Yes, that's it.
Right.
That's everything.
so now is it
That is an email
that's-
attached to this that was sent to them.
But that's an extracurricular option, right? Are we going to go to Gary and say, look, this is your nav menu. This is what you guys agreed to.
Yes.
You need to tell us everything in those categories that fits into the
Yes,
scope.
and what pages you want those to go into.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in which
because we
case
could
Gary will
consolidate
say,
that stuff.
Yes.
in which case Gary will say, I don't want to continue the project.
Why do you think he'll say that?
Because that's where he already is.
This is where I said that I feel like he'd be unforgiving is the wrong word. Unyielding is the better
Yeah.
word. He doesn't want to bend.
I mean,
He's already
the fact
ready
that
to
he
walk.
the fact that he allowed Holly to send the email back that says the stuff's on the site and basically we don't want to take the time to organize it, so you guys need to do that alone tells us that that's where he's at. Because that's the email that Holly sent.
I am not much help in this conversation at this point.
Well, I mean, so this is the thing. This shouldn't be an us decision. This should be a how do we want to behave as a company? Like we should have a fallback clause of what's more important? Being right? Getting the client to pay? Making the client happy? What's the overarching goal of us as a company? And if we had that, this wouldn't be a decision. This would be, this is fallback on our motto, essentially.
I love the question that you're asking, and I have a great answer for you. But the problem that I am having in this circumstance is our customers are unwilling to be happy or work with us. So in the past, my answer to you is in the past, I have I have been the kind of person, and we have been the kind of company in web design experience where when someone literally pays us a 50% deposit and 3-4 weeks later they go, I don't have the money and I can't pay the other half, I still go out of my way to finish the site and deliver it. So I would love to deliver a site, but if they're unwilling to give us even the ability to deliver a site that they'll be happy for, i.e. you guys organize it and figure it out yourselves, we're just going to be back to square one again and again and again and again and again.
You're saying unwilling though, but that's not the case. Like we have all the information. In theory, we could take some liberties and design the site the way that they want it to be. And in theory, Gary has agreed to pay us. Like all he cares about is the site gets launched by Sunday. That's all he cares about, as far as I understand. I think that if I presented this to Gary, he might actually say, okay, don't use any of the under subtext. Go ahead and we'll get the titles.
If you think that you can come to an agreement with Gary, I don't want to work with Holly. And
but that's not our choice.
I don't think Holly should be a part of this whatsoever. So if you think that you
I can't make that happen.
If you think you can get to Gary and get his agreement on whatever the scope is left, then sure, I'm down to do whatever he wants to do. But if it requires us to communicate with Holly to go back and forth to any degree, we're not going to get a result.
I think
that
communicating with Holly is not necessarily the issue. It's having Gary lay down the law of what the scope is. And then if Holly deviates, then we can always reference back. And as long as we have that in writing,
okay,
then that's not an issue.
Sure, get it done.
You're leaving.
I agree.
Are you leaving tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to we could just go over to Gary's and just sit down with him and maybe show him,
I mean, it would have to be today.
Okay.
Because Alvin's not going to work on Saturday, I assume, right?
He would do it if we asked.
Okay. And if the decision is create all those extra pages, somebody's working on Saturday.
I'll finish the project in LA if there's nobody available. If you can actually get a commitment from these fuckers and have everything laid out clearly, where I don't have to think and guess what to do, I will do the whole fucking job. Like, that's no problem.
It's important enough. I can postpone my meeting with Dana, and I like, it has to be today. I'll go with you today.
I'm only saying it has to be today because the last time Gary said I'll sit on the weekend, he gave it to Holly, and it literally we got it Monday.
Right.
So if that happens again, they don't get their site launched.
Right.
Or they have to agree to launch the site basically as is. Like we'll clean up the weird titles and shit.
I am available to finish whatever needs to be finished, guys.
I mean,
if you guys can get the agreement and the outline, I will finish it.
Like, I feel like if we called Gary, I don't know what his availability is, but if we called Gary right now and said, Gary, we're getting ready to make the final push here to try to make this deadline for you. We just want to make sure that we have everything laid out so that we can just muscle through this and get it done. Can we sit down with you and just compare notes real quick? then that opens the door for us to have this discussion without it seeming threatening to him. Well, you know what I mean? And then we could just.
I mean, the good news is this: we've identified where Holly and us are having miscommunication.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. Now we know what the problem is.
Yep.
The solution is either A, we do it the way that, like, we either make some shit up and make it happen. Because, I mean, somebody could go through all those pictures and we could add them to the appropriate categories.
Yeah.
And in theory, we have definitions and we have photos, for the most part.
And we could pull
do
stuff
that.
from their competitor's website, the one that they said they like,
And
which
if you guys
has a lot of overlap.
And if you guys could outline those assets into Asana, I will finish the work.
Therein is what lies the problem.
What?
Taking all, like, so this is what Mike can't do for us.
What?
Is take that crap in their secondary menu and make the creative leap to put it into a task and go that goes in this category.
You can, and Adam.
Yeah, I can see that.
This is an owner's solution chamber
Yeah.
right now. We're not going to get this job done by tasking this to anybody but ourselves.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, that is not going to happen
Okay,
by Sunday.
so that's option one. We could do that. We could probably knock that out
In an afternoon.
and it could be ready for them to approve tomorrow evening.
Yeah.
And if they approve it,
I don't
we
know
could
about
launch
tomorrow
live.
evening, but Saturday evening, yes, because I'll be driving tomorrow, and I probably won't have a lot of time to do the work. But Saturday morning, I could go to a coffee shop down the street from David's and spend 3 or 4 hours and knock it all out.
Hypothetically, if we spent the evening not like tasking these things and pulling stuff from the competitor site for any missing information, we could create the outline for that pretty much in tasks today.
Yes.
And then Mike,
I mean, it's
we could
nearly
even have
done.
Mike and Alvin knock out the majority of
actually,
it.
Mike could do the work tomorrow, yes. Or Alvin could do the work tomorrow, yes.
We could-
if it's already in Asana by tomorrow at 1 p.m., the job will be done tomorrow night.
If tomorrow 1 p.m. is our deadline, between tonight and tomorrow morning, like, I feel like you and I, Justin, like, I don't mind fucking sitting here with you and just
No, that's what I'm
banging these
saying. I mean,
tasks out.
it's doable. We would still have to get Gary to agree, like, hey, look, this is what we're gonna finish by tomorrow night. Tomorrow evening, or Saturday, you're gonna go over it and make a payment to us, like sign authorization, and we're gonna launch your site because it's gonna have to be launched Saturday.
Okay,
Yep.
so you can get that done today, Justin?
I have no idea.
Okay.
We'll have to just call him.
I don't know if he'll agree to that, but I'm saying, like, that would be the only way this is going to happen, other than him saying, hey, we totally understand there's miscommunication, there's a whole secondary menu, let's launch the site as is, and we will get the rest of the information over the next month or whatever for you to fill in the pages.
Right. Yeah, and in light of that, we could have him give us a little bit of wiggle room on that deadline. We could, in the interest of maintaining the
soft
deadline,
launch. Yeah.
soft launch by the deadline, and then fill in the blanks at whatever determined date.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I suggested to them.
He's not going to want to make a full payment for a soft launch.
No, well, so the secondary date would be soft launch it on this date, and then with the agreement that the payment will be contingent on the 15th or whatever that we get all the
No,
rest
we would
of.
get the payment before soft launch.
Okay.
Because, I mean,
I'm not saying he's not going to want to make a full payment.
but I'm saying that would be the contingent. Like, I don't want to if we're gonna miss the deadline, then there's no reason to even worry about it. Like, we'll make it work over the next 2 weeks. The concern is, like, he's going to launch. If we launch the site right now after taking out the subtext, the secondary subtext, he'd have 95% of a working site.
Okay.
So there's no reason for him to argue, I don't want to make the payment at that point. Like, the site is complete. We're just talking about a difference in what content needs to go on the site still.
Okay. Well, regardless, it sounds like just a phone call needs to be made, and a negotiation needs to be taking place, and a confirmation needs to be taking place. Please do it over Zendesk, so it's recorded, so that we have a recording of that final negotiation.
Yeah, but that's.
Next.
Wait, what's our worst case scenario? What are we willing to do? Because I need boundaries in order to do a negotiation.
Worst case scenario?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what you mean.
What are we willing to do?
Right.
I
Then
think
when
we
what's
just
our
outlined our
line of
worst
this-
case scenario.
Well, no,
We
because
all bust
if
our
that,
ass over the next 2
if
days to
that-
get it done for him.
if Gary says that's not good enough, then if
What-
that's the
what-
boundary,
but
then I
that's
say, well, we're not going to
everything-
finish the project.
But
then.
that's everything he wants. How could that not be good enough? Okay, worst case scenario.
That's the worst case scenario,
Okay.
right?
No problem, Gary. I'll see you in arbitration.
That's $2,000 in arbitration that we have so much documentation of their employees failing on their part and forcing us to overcompensate.
I feel like we have enough stuff outlined that if he were to say that's not good enough, we would have everything in writing and say, Gary, you're gonna have to show us where show us indisputable evidence that we didn't live up to our end of the bargain.
Yeah, otherwise we're going to show our evidence to arbitration.
Yeah. I mean, carrots and sticks, right? Like we're doing our due diligence to try to give him the carrot of having his site launched when he asked for it. And we're literally calling him to compare notes so that we can work through the weekend to get it done. But if he's going to be unreasonable and say, well, fuck you, I'm not going to agree to that, after having already had a recorded phone call with us where he agreed to it, then I don't really know what's left to do but say stick time.
Yeah. Do you have a better option, Dustin? Idea?
Well, I mean, we could finish the site in theory.
Well, yeah, well, that's plan A. But if they say no, that's not good enough, what's your worst case scenario plan B idea? Besides, fuck you, I'll take you to arbitration.
I'm just trying to think of anything that he
I
could
think
possibly take issue with.
I mean, okay, so the timeline's what he's going to take issue with.
Okay.
Like, even in arbitration, we have an agreement that says this damn thing was supposed to be done in 5 weeks, 6 weeks, right? We have every ability to lose this and owe them back $2,000, by the way. Because we did not do the contract, guys. Like, flat out. Like, we failed.
But don't we have documentation of us saying you guys haven't given us what we need, therefore we are putting this on standby?
I'm going to say this over and over again. Nobody's put those emails into Zendesk. So I don't fucking know.
I did put those emails
We did.
in Zendesk.
But the last time we had things about this, all that was in Zendesk.
But if all those emails, right, if they are conclusive, then why?
What do you mean by conclusive?
Meaning like for instance, right, you have a layout, right, that's attached to an email. But our invoice and the thing that the contract's actually attached to doesn't have that, right? It's all like extracurricular to the circle that's actually going to get looked at. Like, there's no email at any point in time where the site was actually completed and we sent them and said, hey, this is what we have, go. That didn't happen.
Yeah, it happened like 2 months ago when they freaked out because it was templated and we sent them a
no, because the site wasn't fucking done.
Yeah, but it was exactly what Holly asked for.
Clearly not.
Well, yeah, clearly not anymore, but
no, clearly not.
Adam's meeting with her.
Is it recorded?
Yeah.
Do we have all this information documented? Like, this is what they're
He's
going to
just
care
saying
about.
that. So essentially, there's loopholes where we
I
could lose.
I don't know how arbitration works. You have more experience than I do, but all I know is that we have an overwhelming amount of communication back and forth with these customers of them failing. So. Yeah, I get that there's one thing of timeline that didn't match up, but
do we want a bank that we haven't?
I don't know. That's why I'm saying I don't know. I'm just.
Here's the thing.
From my perspective.
So arbitration works this way. I would be the arbitrator. You're going to say your side. You're going to say your side. And then I'm going to make a decision. And it's all based on what you can present and prove to me right now, right? That's how it works. So I understand, but we sent them a website launch agreement months after our deadline. And that's factual, provable by every side. That alone could get our entire argument dismissed.
Just by virtue of saying
because we failed.
We would get it done at a certain time.
Right.
However, prior to sending that launch agreement, we did notify them that they would be placed on hold till further notice.
I understand
due to a failing on their part.
I completely understand that. So and I'm not disputing that.
Rule out them just being able to say you didn't fail, you didn't deliver on time? No, before we delivered, they failed and we couldn't deliver on time.
It depends. I mean, when we take...
We would probably have to show...
We'd have to show...
provable evidence as to why we couldn't deliver.
Okay, I gave her a content outline within a week of us starting the project, and then we have at least 2 data touch points of us asking, hey, have you finished the content yet? We need the content. And then we have an email saying later, you didn't give us the content, we are unable to do anything about this, you're now on standby.
But then you have Holly saying, well, all the content's live on the site, why didn't you pull that if you pulled everything else?
However, you can't say that it's completable when like Giant Games goes nowhere, there's a 404 error when you click cell charging station.
That would have mattered a lot if we had an email 4 months ago that said, hey, these categories don't line up, right? Where do you want this content?
Yeah, but
that's not what's happening.
We have an outline of all of the pages and categories from our first meeting. That was the whole scope of the job. Okay.
I understand what you're saying.
So do you have a suggestion other than what we're debating that has no answer?
Well, we're just trying to workshop what the fallback's going to be, because if Gary decides to be unreasonable, we have to plan accordingly.
Gary's going to be unreasonable about the timeline. That's what's going to kill him. If he says, no, you guys have had this content, which is what Holly's saying from day one, and you guys haven't filled in this content, then Gary's going to say, well, you can't make the deadline by the 6th with the site we want, so...
Was it the 6th or the 7th? I thought it was the 7th.
It doesn't really matter.
So guys, if the content is the only holdup and we're willing to do the work, then you just make the tasks and the outline and send it to him and have him sign off on, yes, all this done equals you get payment, I get my site launched, and we're done. It's very simple. I don't see how there's going to be a fallback necessary fallback here. We've gone over and above for the last month trying to please them.
So, I don't make decisions without the group that affect the group.
Okay.
That's why I'm bringing it up.
Okay, so
I need absolute guidelines. You want me to go in there and negotiate? I'm good with that. I don't mind that. But I'm not going to make an emotional decision to cancel the deal.
Right.
I need to know what our line is, where we cancel that deal, where we walk away, where we take him to court, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
If the work can be done tonight and tomorrow to outline in the sauna and get the work done either by Mike and Alvin tomorrow or by me on Saturday, then make it happen. Get it done. If it can't be done and nobody's going to be happy, then fuck everything.
Yeah,
let's just move on.
And he's not going to go to arbitration. He's just going to take the loss. Like, he doesn't care necessarily. So I think that it's pretty simple for me as well. Like, if we could get him to agree that there's not going to be any new information presented, if everything Holly gave us, everything we already had, plus what's on the website, and if we can fill the blanks with a competitor's site, is acceptable to him to get it launched by the 7th, then that's the line for me, that if he can agree to that, then that's what we'll do, and if he doesn't want to agree to that, I mean, unless he's willing to move the deadline, I don't really see what other options we have. Otherwise, he's willing to walk. I don't see why we should do anything other than that and walk as well. I mean, arbitration sounds like a pain in the ass for everybody. I don't think anybody wants to do that.
It's not a pain. I mean,
if we can win, I say arbitrate.
If we could win, but it sounds like there's enough reasonable doubt.
The truth is that you're never going to know if you can win, because the law is in the judge's opinion, and that's the truth. Like, it's always that way. Now, do I have a pretty good track record? Yeah, of course. I'm good at debate. This is something I'm good at. But that being said, I can't guarantee any win unless if everything was laid out and we had screenshots of when we live screenshots of the site, videoed and uploaded to YouTube so we can prove it 100%. Yeah, of course. I can say yes. This site was 100% ready when we said it was. But we didn't document this well. So I don't want to guarantee something that I don't know.
Right, and I think that it's I don't know, it's safer to take the loss by not going than to gamble it. Like, if we lose, we're out a lot more than if we just walked.
Okay, so next.
Well, okay, so takeaway, right?
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you need to walk in?
I think we should call Gary today.
Okay.
And explain why we're not getting what we need.
Yeah.
And then I'll follow up by sending him the email in Zendesk. I think the second one is reasonably close to what we said.
I think to get the best possible response out of him would just be to have this conversation as a continuation of the conversation we previously had with him.
Yeah.
Because all conversations that have been had since then have been with Holly, and Holly's just kind of like a mad person. So I think ignoring her madness to the degree that we just say, Gary, I know that you said that this was your deadline. Let's have a discussion about how we can meet that deadline with the information that we have. Can we take some time to compare notes? I think I've identified where our biggest miscommunication was. Let's just, in light of that.
Well, and I think Gary will be reasonable too, because he said he was going to go do the notes.
Right.
And it's pretty obvious when you look at Holly's notes that they don't, the pictures don't match up with what we have on our site.
Right.
That being said, I mean, we could easily, like I said, we could just delete the secondary notes and basically launch the damn site.
Right.
I mean, 90% of the site, of the work they need to do is secondary notes.
And I think if we're coming to him and we're presenting option A, option B, but both of them are in line with we're going to aim to get your website done on time, he should be pretty open to that. So yeah, when do you want to call him? Do you need some time to prep this? Do you want to call him like, I mean, probably sooner is better.
Yeah, I could probably give him a call. I have to find his number.
Do you want me to initiate this from Zendesk like we usually do?
Yeah, do you want to,
By the way, this fucking headset is amazing, dude.
Yeah, I
It's
still
so
need
much.
the Corsair information.
I
So
love
I
this
filed
guy.
it for you.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
How does that work then?
Just wait for them to get back to you and like, either we'll ship it back to them and they'll ship us a new one or
Just ship
whatever.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Depends on how much it fucking costs them to ship a new one.
Yeah.
It's made in China, it's like $8. They'll be like, oh yeah, of course. I tell you, I worked with a guy that oversaw the billing for Victoria's Secret bras,
Oh my god.
like that are built in China. They make them,
Like
the,
$1.
the average one is like 36 cents.
Yeah.
And they sell them for $60 fucking
60,
Yeah.
200 sometimes.
Are you
Yeah.
serious?
Depending on the bra, yeah.
What?
Why do you
Yeah.
think they're everywhere?
Yeah. Although they're going out of business. They are hitting the skids hard right now.
Why?
Because they don't present a positive body image, which is super in vogue right now.
Yeah.
Nobody watches their like shows anymore, and plus brick and mortars are going the way of the dodo
Wow.
anyway.
Wow.
And a lot of people have complained about their quality of product, that it's not comfortable, that people can't find their size, that they can get better options by shopping online with other companies that provide better customer service, better product, better pricing.
It's really important to mention though that like those large companies, 2 or 3 minor changes and they restore themselves
Oh
entirely.
yeah. I mean, everybody thought Sears. I mean, it's a good point. Everybody thought Sears was going to go out of business, and then the CEO went and bought them out at the last minute. Put together a $4 billion fucking package to buy them.
Like Victoria's Secret, their
Why?
customer
Why did you buy
service is unheard of
Sears?
good.
Yeah, why did you buy Sears?
Sears has been around for like 120 years.
Yeah, so what did he do with it?
Sears is a finance company.
It's now a finance company?
No, they've been since like the 80s.
Oh, dude, you could have a house built by Sears.
Yeah, I understand that, but if Sears is dying, why would a CEO buy it, and what was the result of it? You use that as like a reference.
It just happened. So everybody thought Sears was going to shut down because they're a big box store, and all the big box stores, Toys R Us.
And when you ever
Fucking
go to
Kmart.
Sears.com to buy
Yeah.
anything at this point.
Yeah, you go to Amazon.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think he believes that he can save the company by making aforementioned adjustments, like Justin was talking about. So he got his hedge fund to come in and put together a $4 billion deal. I think he financed like 1.34 of it, and then just fucking went and like literally they were about to file bankruptcy, and he came in like the 11th hour. He had like a 4 p.m. deadline on like December 31st, and he made the deadline like 15 minutes before, and fucking financed the deal and bought it. Insane.
It's fucking superhero good, dude.
Yeah, I love reading stories like that. That's pretty dope.
But,
Yeah.
But Victoria's Secret's customer service is like incredibly on point though.
Yeah.
And that might save them. Like we had an order that got lost one time and they replaced it twice. I mean, it was like a $400 order too. Yeah. And they were like, yeah, not a problem. We'll ship that out overnight. And then the mail guy, like they put a note in it and the mail guy threw it over the fence. And so I called just to tell them like, hey, you probably shouldn't throw it over the fence when the guy's got dogs. Like my dogs could have torn it apart. And I didn't get the sentence finished. And they were like, no worries, sir, I reprocessed another order for you. It'll be there tomorrow. I was like, all right, you guys have earned a positive review. And it's because their markups are fucking 300% or
They have a lot of
they're like
leeway.
30,000% markups, so they don't care.
Yeah. That's why Ritz-Carlton has such fucking insane customer service, because their markups are so huge that every single Ritz-Carlton employee has like a $5,000 budget to make you happy if you're unhappy.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's, are we gonna make this call, or are we gonna talk about something else?
Well, it's only noon 40.
So we
It
should
is
probably
like
just knock it out. It's like a 10 or 20 minute conversation, right?
Yeah, our last one with him was about 25 minutes
Yeah.
long.
So,
Do you need any time to prep? Do you want to go over anything else before we get on the phone with him? Do you need me to pull up any documents that you need to reference or anything like that?
No. Do you want to call and then
just put it on
do you
speaker or
want to call me and then I'll call him in?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
Is
do.
that okay?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
you should probably just be able to mute your.
Yeah, that's what I always do.
It's fine.
Yeah.
That way we call him in. I gotta figure out where the hell his number is.
What are you doing, Wobie? What you doing, boy,
His
baby?
number is 702-843-0591. I'm going to call you.
0459. 0591.
0591, yep. 843-0591. Okay, so here we go.
Tiny cat.
This cat is ridiculous. James calls him a dire cat.
I told Mike I wanted to get a wolf.
My
They are big.
my uncle, who just passed away last month, used to have a half breed. He had a half. It was like half wolf, half husky, and that dog was insane. I used to try to play with him, and he was like just. I mean, he was a wild animal.
Good peeps. Alright, yeah, come on. You say 1702, right?
Yep, 702-843-0591. Can you hear me at all through the? No. Okay.
Afternoon, AES, this is Connie.
Hi Connie, is Gary available by chance?
Let me go see.
Thank you so much.
I don't know where he's at. Can I tell him who's calling?
Yeah, it's Justin from Krenz.
Okay, hold on.
I merged them.
These are so comfortable.
Yeah, I can't wait to replace mine. Damn battery, man.
Yeah, the battery life in these is really good.
Yeah. The new ones are really nice.
They're actually the exact same hardware, believe it or not.
No kidding.
Yeah, my PlayStation 4 headset would last for like 2 days.
That's
Just on the whole time.
my old one. I plug it in.
Hey Holly, this is Justin from Krenz. I was wondering if you had a few minutes.
Use it on the Xbox.
Hey, can you hear me? Oh, no worries. Pretty good. I do need, so we figured out a miscommunication that we're having, and we need to clear that up so that we can figure out what steps to take. So on the site, on the demo site, according to the scope of work, we have a menu, our header menus. They don't line up with the menus that you guys want us to copy. Yeah, so basically right. So most of the updates have been done. We scraped the site for what we can get out of it, but on your current website, if you scroll down, almost to the bottom, you've got basically a second menu, and that's where you guys are pulling all your content from. Right. Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I understand that. I understand that. The problem we're having is when you guys are referencing in the document you sent, because you didn't comment on the sections that are actually live on the Google Doc, you guys referenced a document, like you sent a document, and it has those categories.
You're cutting it. Yeah, you're cutting it.
Okay, I'm sorry. Is that better? Okay, sorry, I'll stand still. Okay, so in the document that you guys sent, it doesn't reference, it references these bottom categories. That's what you're referencing, not the actual menu categories that we have now. I'm actually talking about the document that had the actual product descriptions. So it references like arcade games. It references this bottom stuff, not the top. That reference doesn't line up with the menu system that we have in place. Yeah, so we already did as much as we could with scraping.
That whole sentence was just gone.
I'm totally not. Okay, 1 second.
Yeah, like that whole last sentence that
Can you put it on speaker?
Now that he's gone.
No worries.
Give me a specific example so I can understand what you mean.
Absolutely. So on our menu system, on the Google Doc, if you were to reference that I sent you, that's specifically what we need in order to continue the site.
That was what we wrote, and then since then, it has been changed. And so...
No. I understand that because we've updated it.
Yes.
However, I updated all that Google Doc last night. So, like for arcade, right? For the first piece of the menu system there, actually in the document that you guys gave us, there's 3 or 4. So you have like the titles and the descriptions there, but those aren't linked to specific pictures, and so we don't want to get it wrong, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and so I said if you're not quite sure, I put a thing in it that says image coming soon, so that way I can look at your site and say, oh no, I got the image for that. Because you and I talking back and forth, it's going to be so hard for me to understand what you're talking about. But if you're like,
Well, and that's why I put a Google Doc there. That way you guys can see specifically what we still need.
okay, and I appreciate that. My deadline is an hour ago for something else, so I need to find out what is. So are you asking me to get onto your Google Doc to look at what you wrote?
But either that, or we need to schedule like 15 phone calls in the next 2 days, so that we can go, hey, do you like this page? Basically, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get that. So what I need to do, okay, so at this moment in time, I don't have time this very second to open up that document and get something else that I'm working on.
Yeah, not a problem. I understand. I kind of called you last minute, so I
I
understand.
have a printer that needed something by noon, and I don't have it ready. So I need to work on that, so I can make sure I can get that handled, and then we can chat. If you can fix, I'm sorry, but I need you to read the document I gave you, and it has all of the links and stuff, and you tell me to take it from what I've already sent you and enter it into the Google document. That's just time wasting for me. I have everything, I have the names of the images and everything. If you could just please open that.
Polly, you guys did not look or comment on the Google Doc at all. I'm very much so trying to make sure that this works, but we either need to schedule phone calls or I need to have some type of live communication with you so that we can update pages. Because we're going to do large chunks of work and then we're going to need updates.
So let's schedule a time a little later this afternoon that I can be on that Google document.
Yeah, and that's fine.
You can't call me and expect me to drop
Oh my God,
everything
this
in
woman.
my very busy day to
I'm not,
give you all of this stuff.
Holly, I'm not at all. I'm just trying to make sure that you guys that we're all on the same page because like a lot of work got done.
Yeah.
But we need like eyes on it occasionally to check it because you guys have a very strict launch date of the 6th, right?
Yeah, and so what I'll do is later this afternoon, what I'd like to do now is to move forward, have you please, can you just go to that one document to make sure that those 5 things are fixed, and then later this afternoon, when I'm done with this deadline, I can jump on, I can send you an email, I can
Me
jump
too.
on the document.
I can't stand her.
working on it, but if this
Paul, if you ever watch this, I can't stand you. Nobody can. You're impossible to work with, and I have no idea why Gary works with you at all.
We have time scheduled and that we're gonna.
I would never work with you.
It's gonna be
I would have fired you after a day. Maybe not even a day. Probably like 2 hours if I mistakenly hired you.
If you could just, if you want to give me a call back at 3 or somewhere around 3, I'll be able to jump in a document. Until then, though, I just kind of, as they say, ask the elbows and what I'm doing.
Not a problem. How about this? Because you have a busier schedule right now, why don't you give us a call? Would that be okay when you're free?
Well, I would love to give you a call, but the challenge is every time I call, I get like a whole bunch of different phone trees and I can't find out who I'm supposed to talk to. So how am I
Press 8.
able to talk to somebody like that without having to leave a message and schedule you a call back?
So we have a menu. If you press 8 when you call our live number, you'll get right through to one of the owners.
Okay.
Fair enough?
All right, that'll work.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. All right.
Now that's either yours or Adam's directory. I don't know. I know I'm 7.
It's not mine. I actually don't even know if it's 8. We may have to call.
We have 6, 7, and 8. Those are the 3. I'm 7. One of you guys is 6.
Probably
One of you guys is 8.
Yeah, you can hear Gary in the background being like, "I'm done with you guys." Like,
Yeah, I heard that yelling too.
I don't know what to do at that point. Like, we've already done quite a lot at this point.
Yeah, I want to go back and see if I can actually hear what he was trying to say.
Oh man. Okay.
I mean, when we don't even get the Google Doc looked at, that's a problem.
Yeah.
All right, fun stuff.
I say we stop wasting time on this because this doesn't sound like it's got a lot of hope. Anyway, what's next for our discussion?
Yeah, I am done with you guys, Justin.
I don't know what more I can do.
That's what he
Like,
said.
I'm calling to follow up. If you're not gonna, like, I don't think Gary understands that there's a massive miscommunication happening. Like, what kind of boss yells in his office like that? Ever, to be honest.
I do.
Yeah, but you're not a good boss. We've
Oh,
established
wow. Wow. Wow.
When you're yelling.
that. During those times, you are not being professional.
During those times, I will agree.
We've established that already,
Okay.
which was the basis for my comment about Gary. He's not being professional during those times, obviously.
Fuck you.
I yell too. I just go outside and fucking scream at the wind.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, God damn, James!
So, okay, so...
Over the dog park?
Yeah, like, God damn! My neighbors are like, wow, his gay relationship is seriously angry.
Yeah.
Like, all the time.
He needs to break up with James.
That's right. It sounds like James makes him unhappy.
So what do we want to do in light of the fact that it sounds like Gary just probably is not going to pay us?
I mean, the thing is, if we finish the site, at least we can, like, we've got the emails, and we can send him an email.
Okay, so let me
I
ask
feel
you
like
this,
not finishing the site at this point is sort of
stupid.
to be honest.
So
I mean, we're close. at the
Let me
very
ask you
least.
this, and I know you don't have a crystal ball, but in your opinion, having had the experience in arbitration, with the amount of correspondence that we have now,
I think we'll win.
Okay.
But you guys, you need to understand, winning does not equal we walk out with a
I know that.
$2,000 check.
I know that.
So
I know that.
now it determines on if it's worth winning.
Right.
Mind you, there's nothing that stops him from taking us to court if we don't deliver. FYI.
Arbitration
clause?
Did he not sign an indemnification?
He did.
That indemnifies us against damages. It does not indemnify us against not doing the contract.
Okay.
All right, so we need
So
to
if we
finish
don't
the
deliver,
contract.
if we don't deliver the site, he could still take us to arbitration and be
Okay.
like, "Oh, they didn't deliver
But
the
if
site."
we
give me
deliver,
my money back. Yes. but
regardless
if we
of being
deliver,
late,
in theory, we don't owe him.
especially since I think a courtroom would say, well, you verbally, you just in this recording verbally agreed to a deadline that you said you'd be happy with.
Right.
And Holly is a signer, so anything that Holly says and has said is completely.
Yeah. Like I said, I think we'll win. I'm not terribly concerned about, but we have to in order for that to happen, we have to have delivered a site.
I don't understand why he's saying he's done with us all of a sudden when we already had a conversation with him. That was.
I don't understand. because he doesn't want to do the system that I laid out. But
Right. They don't want to do anything.
But like I told Holly in that recording, it's like either A, you have to schedule 15 phone calls with me, or B, you have to be able to live update a document, and that's the live update document.
The thing that she kept saying about, can you just look at what I gave you and make sure that those 5 things are done? What is that, and is that in the document, and are those tasks, and are they done?
Everything that she laid out, as far as I understand, is in the document. But that's the whole point of a live document.
Those work yet? Is that done? Those 5 things she was referencing?
I think that she's referencing those are just homepage things. But once again, they're not looking at the whole site. Like, that's one task. I think she's actually referencing, like, she referenced the buttons, which is exactly what you said.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure why they went away, but, I mean, I'm sure they're still there someplace.
Yeah. So, I'd like to move on from this.
Yeah, I would too.
Okay. Is there anything else that needs to be discussed, or are we going to wait for the call and whatever Justin can make happen happens?
Yeah, we'll just wait for the call.
Justin, I trust you to do whatever is best.
Yeah, and I will help. I'll jump in and
whatever you decide.
Task what I need to task or whatever.
Yeah,
we got
so it sounds like the only things that need to happen right now, like the things that would make this better, is getting whatever those images were back on the home screen for her. Because that's all that she apparently gave a shit about.
Okay, so can someone task that right now for Alvin to do? It's 1 o'clock. Alvin can do that before 3 o'clock.
Yeah, just ask him to put the call to action.
Overlay
back.
Is that what she was asking?
Yeah.
So it was what I brought up. She wanted.
No, it's not just that. It's also some images that
there were images that were added here
that were apparently added.
Okay, cool. So clean that up.
She didn't say which ones needed to be removed though. So we're
look at the document she sent.
Supposedly it's in the document.
Look, yeah, bring that up.
Yay, documents.
The yay documents that aren't the drive. Thank you, Holly.
Make sure that you, Adam, if you task those out,
make
sure you add those to the Google Doc if they're not already there, please. But see, I don't think it's not that document because she said there was specific images she was referring to.
Cool. Bring up everything that she has said to try and.
There is a homepage folder in that Google Drive, though. They might be there.
What else is on our list of things to talk about today?
Well, we need to talk about budgeting.
Yay, budgeting.
Budgeting, yay.
Yay.
And we need to talk about how quickly we can get the affiliate sites launched.
If I have dedicated time, quickly.
Yes. If you see the if though, we need to disavow the if. If needs to be like a thing. If I understand right, didn't we have scheduled for Chilogram to be done today? Or do you need that time of Elvin's to do something else? I know that some stuff with LV already didn't get done last night.
The only way Chilogram's going to get done today is if I sit down and test the crap out of it and task everything that's not done to be done. Which requires like text verbiage changes, which I'm not the best at. But I can make it all done and have it ready on my own.
Do you have anything more important to do today?
Do I have anything more important to do today?
All about prioritizing.
This meeting and
well, the only thing I have in this meeting is budgeting and Dana, basically.
Budgeting Dana?
No, both. Yes. Yes. Speaking of which, Dana and Matt are now going to be every Friday. Just FYI for everybody. Dana was dumping her hours into Maddie's pay schedule, which is the 1st and the 15th.
I'm confused.
That's how it's been, essentially. So I talked to Dana last night, and she was like, hey, can I get paid every Friday? And I'm like, yes, if you create a document and you manage your hours in that document.
And manage
your own pay. The same way that Maddie is doing a document. I said, right now, your hours get dumped into the document, so I'm not paying you 90 hours for 1 week, right?
Okay.
So I told her, I was like, Matt's on the same thing, so you might as well manage Matt in that too.
Okay.
And
cool.
then Matt will get paid every Friday as well.
Cool.
And then on the 1st and the 15th is when her back pay payments happen.
Okay.
Just so everybody's on the same page there. So sexy.
What's up?
Clean boards.
Yeah, I know. What the hell? Oh, tape residue.
I've seen Gooby gone over and over.
Oh.
This is not gonna work to get off tape.
What's up?
I'm betting that won't work to get tape off. I'm curious now.
Tape residue?
Yeah, I have faith in you though.
You'd be better off using the other stuff. The other bottle.
The fragrance?
No. No.
Yeah.
The grease lightning.
You are correct, Justin.
I have like, I don't know what it's made of, but like, there's this orange stuff. It smells like citrus being peeled.
Yeah.
I
know
call it
what you're
Gooby
talking
Gone,
about.
and it gets like everything off. I didn't even know about it until I went into Best Buy and I bought a used TV one time, and they sprayed it right on the screen, and they're like, yeah, this stuff gets everything off, like all the tape from
That's cool.
the logos and stuff.
So, Dana and budgeting are the two topics, yes?
Yes.
What do we need to discuss about Dana and budgeting?
So with Dana, we kind of need like. So this is just because it keeps coming up with us, right? I'd love to get Dana on website stuff because I think she'd be really organized about it.
Yeah.
But I don't know how far out we are from Mass Planner being finished.
We need to talk with Dana about that.
Well, I've talked to Dana about that.
Okay. And what is?
She said that by Wednesday of next week, we will have all of the problem people, the MP issues, on new proxies working the system.
Yes.
At that point, it should require, she said right now she spends about 4 hours managing like other stuff that comes up every day and like 4 hours on Mass Planner updates.
Okay.
That's what her schedule is right
So
now.
in theory, as soon as that process is complete, she's got half her day available.
4 hours
Yeah.
to move her over.
Okay.
So at current, what Dana and I have talked about, which hopefully is working through Adam and his department at some point, or we need to talk about that, is up until Wednesday, we should have all the Mass Planner problems on board so they can be tested on the new VPS, all redone. At that point, I told Dana that we should start with the other 400 clients we have
And just redo everybody.
and start doing everybody's proxies new. Dana's going to come up with a document that is her version of the best quality onboarding that we could do.
Okay.
Like what the onboarders need to ask, questions so we can do proper targeting, et cetera, and then that'll get passed over to customer service. Adam's onboarding team will now go through that process of re-onboarding everybody.
Cool.
In that process, they can upsell them or upgrade them to the new packages.
Free upgrade, yeah.
And that fixes our terms of service across the board for everybody as well.
Because they'll have to sign another contract?
We don't necessarily have to have them sign another contract,
it's a new
but we
TOS.
could have them, if it is recorded someplace, we could put a window in their client portal and have everybody, before they can access their client portal, agree to the new terms of service.
That's a whole day in development to make that possible.
It's 400 clients.
Yeah, maybe 2 days. Just to
I mean, we could send them new contracts, but then we're going to get into the like, hey, I'm sending out your contract, make sure it's signed, et cetera, et cetera.
Man, I'm gonna think on that and figure out the best way to make that possible.
No worries. That is how Netflix does it, by the way. When they update, they actually, when you go to log into your account, they have a pop-up that you can't get past that says,
It's
hey,
just a TOS that they need to click I agree and next. That's easy. If we're talking about the e-sign contracts, that's a fucking
no, I'm
headache
talking
and
about the
mess.
terms of service.
Oh, no problem. I can make that possible.
But
Yeah.
that has to be recorded someplace, and I have no idea where we keep track of that right now.
Yeah, I can have it grab their IP and log the date and
Because
browser.
otherwise we're
and-
going to have like contract, oh, you agree to a new TOS, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I got that. I got that. I got that.
Ideally, we could do like a TOS and what package they upgrade to, maybe. Like they could have a selection. Like quality or quantity.
I've missed a lot of this because I'm trying to task out stuff.
That's fine.
So
You're
That's
fine.
okay.
You're
No,
fine.
we got this.
So
okay. I just feel like I should
We're
know
just
some of this
modifying
stuff.
everything in your department. No worries.
Yeah, that's great. Just like what happened yesterday when I woke up and
Yeah.
the packages were changed.
Yeah.
And I had nothing.
I told James, I was like
That's
5
awesome.
hours into changing it, I'm like, we maybe should have informed Adam.
Yeah.
And he was like, fuck. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. It would have been nice. I woke up to a bunch of messages from Maddie like, what's going on?
Why has nothing been confirmed or
So,
sent to us?
Here's what I'll do for this. Just like in the WooCommerce section where
Love
it's the user and VPS, we'll add another widget. It'll do TOS update, and it'll have option 1 or 2 for are they doing the super followers or super quality, and then that'll pop up and say you updated to this package. Agree to our new TOS, and as soon as they agree, it'll uncheck this, and it'll have like a confirmation with data.
And it's like single entry deal, so like once they select it, they shouldn't be able to change their selection afterwards.
Well, on the onboarding call, because it's onboarders doing this, they already know how to do this. They'll just check off which one they say, I want this one.
So it's an internal
It'll
deal.
be recorded on our shit, and then when they log back in, they won't be able to touch anything because it'll be grayed out
The user update.
until they agree to the TOS, and then it'll uncheck that and send the IP data and the date that they signed and probably their browser to log all that data in the WooCom section itself.
Cool.
I got you.
Proxy. Okay, so this is the only thing that you missed. Up till Wednesday, Dana's using your onboarding team essentially to do the master planner issue. That's what she has told me is possible. Then we will dedicate a certain number of hours to re-onboarding the 400 plus clients that we currently have onto new location-oriented proxies.
Okay. 'Cause she just found a proxy provider that she really likes. I saw that.
Yeah, Dana's been testing them. I've seen the bill.
Yeah, yeah, I saw $800. Yeah, I saw that bill.
Yes, I've seen the bill. Dana's been testing them. In theory, that will be that. James, during this week, I'm assuming, I don't know what the hell we're going to do with MC. I guess we're going to have to call them and figure that out, what the hell they want. But James, during this week, is going to be LVRE and getting the proxies done, or getting the affiliates done.
This week?
Well, the next 2 weeks, during this period, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I'm really not going to do much next week, I'll be honest with you.
No, I don't expect you to.
But I can task enough out to have Alvin busy most of the time.
If you can make the tasks,
Yeah.
then Adam and I can monitor those tasks and make sure shit gets done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yay,
Cover
teamwork.
down.
Cover down. This is what I've been told. So after this point, we're going to have to, what we need from Dana is how long is it going to take you to basically free up the 4 hours that you're spending a day on mass planner issues right now? And then we can have her work on like other projects.
Right.
So at that point, like, I don't know how long it's going to be. Maybe it'll be a week, maybe it'll be 2. But after that point, like, we can put Dana basically on, we can put Dana into an admin role for customer support. Which is my thought process.
And like account management for our tier 1 clients.
Which would be the admin role for customer. That's what Adam and I are doing already.
Yes.
So like,
yes.
But Dana needs to use systems that we put in place and not, like, she can augment them. Love that. Dana right now, like, what she did before was like collect all these forms over here that nobody else had access to, or we did but didn't know about.
Yeah.
So we need to, like, it needs to be transparent so that we can access those documents too anytime we want.
She'll be able to do that.
Yeah, I don't have any doubt that she'll be able to do that.
So budgeting, I want to bring up 2 things before you do a giant spiel.
I don't have a giant spiel.
Oh, okay.
I get like 4 points and then we move on.
Okay, well I have 2 points.
It'll probably take us a giant spiel to figure out the solutions to my 4 points, but I don't have the giant spiel.
Point number
water or something, dude?
No, I'm okay.
Point number 1 is between Krenz and Granville, we're spending about $7,000 a month in ad spend for Instagram marketing, right? How much roughly do we get a new acquisition between the 2 of us a month? Do you know?
That is a really good question. We are averaging 2 to 3 signups a day.
Okay. And
Average.
David is averaging about the same.
He's averaging 2, though some days he has 1, but realize that...
Some days he has 7.
Yeah, some days he has 7. That's true. Some days we have 6.
Yeah.
I mean...
So we're about the same, I would say.
It's probably pretty close.
Say 2.5 a day?
We drop 2 days a week, remember that.
We dropped it. So
We're not advertising
let's
these
just
days.
say we get 2 a day to have a little bit of conservative, right? Each entity. So that's 4 a day times 30 is what, 120? No. 4 a day
that's right.
times 30. Yeah, 120.
So how many do we lose per day?
That's the number I don't know. But right now, like, so in this last month, I think we've lost a total of 8 active subscribers.
Oh.
No. Net.
So what is 60 times 70?
Okay, I see.
What is 60 times 70, please?
60.
I mean, I could do it myself.
70.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're looking at an extra $4,200 a month incoming as soon as we launch all 3 of these brands, because they're all going to, on average, be spending $2,000 a month.
Right.
I think that we should get all of these done immediately. It's money that we've left on the table, and they've paid their deposits. David's ready to pay the deposit for the second one. Everything's ready to go for all of these. Just need to develop, do a little bit of branding and test, and get it fucking going. The second thing that, and that's budgeting, because we need dev time. I'm assuming budgeting is both time and money, yeah?
Yep. Budgeting of resources.
And the second thing that I want to bring up is admin assistant. I have 2 people that I have chosen out of everyone that I've interviewed that are pretty qualified and I think would do a decent job. One of them does not have specific experience assisting executives.
It's not for you.
He has a lot of experience in just being general assisting, Amazon storefront assisting, doing even arbitrage outreach to negotiate and find better products at better prices to sell in Amazon stores. So he has a lot of experience doing multifaceted stuff, has a lot of experience with Asana, a lot of experience with Slack, and a couple other things. This other girl I'm even more jazzed about. That's the girl spent 3 years in project management, managing people all over the world for various different tasks and skills to complete various different types of digital projects and other types of things. Has experience doing C-level executive assistants, has experience doing Amazon and all that other stuff that the other dude has, and seems very, very, very professional. So I'd like to set up a time where we can all do a final round of interviews and see if one of those is a good idea that we all decide is a good idea to try out for an admin assistant. Yes?
I would like every department to make a list of what they actually would use this person for.
Okay, yes, no problem.
Because, like, in my department, like the thing that, I don't know.
There's a lot, Justin.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
No,
We just
I'm
haven't
certain
spent
there
the
is.
time to
I'm
think
certain
about
there
it.
is. I just don't know what
Payroll
it is.
prep. Payroll prep. Affiliate portal payroll prep. That's 2 things I've identified in your department that you do that you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, but, I mean, I'd rather have an American have access to our payroll, personally.
I mean, that's just a stipulation that you have. For some reason, you feel like you can trust an American better than you can trust a Filipino in employment.
I can take legal action against an American.
Okay, so I would advise that we utilize softwares and tools that prohibits them from being able to do anything other than their job while having access to the data they need to see to do their job. Because there's many types of accounting, payroll, all of these things
one or the other
that
yet.
limit their ability to do
it. It would be
anything.
really nice to know what our ROI on this person is, and we can't do that unless we all have, like, this is what they would do.
Here's our ROI, Justin. Okay, our ROI on this is by Dana coming over to help in web design and project management, and an admin assistant coming in to take our busy work. We get to go out and sell more. That is our ROI. I am fully ready to be sales with you, but we need time and capacity to do that.
I understand. I'm not saying no.
Yeah.
We've already agreed that we need, like, people here, right?
Okay.
My question is, we have this weird fuzzy line between, like, what we might have Dana do and admin assistant, and it doesn't sound like Dana's going to be super busy unless we have sales, or major projects going on.
Can I have you guys do me a favor and document the things that are your points for this meeting with the takeaways somewhere on that board, so that we can put this into our master meetings docket?
Those are mine.
Okay.
Under the Dana so far.
I'm just saying, take good notes, because I need to put these in the master meetings docket, or somebody does.
So look, this is a very minimal
We
expense.
would do that.
James, I'm not.
To start them off part-time.
You're still debating a point, but like, I've already agreed to this. I just don't know what they would do.
And we've already sacrificed money to make it affordable.
I've already agreed to it, but I don't know what they would do.
Cool. So what are your 4 points for budgeting that I can add on to this?
Okay, so we have this year taxes, next year taxes. Current debts for the company,
Jeez.
and safety net. Those are the things I'd like to discuss in budget.
Okay.
So, on current taxes, okay, we can defer over a 12-month payment plan.
There you go.
Over a 12? Okay.
Yes.
So 2018?
Yes. The problem with doing this is it essentially raises our expenses by somewhere between $1,000 and $2,000 a month for the next year.
Right.
So we need to be prepared to accept that if that's what we're going to do instead of paying in bulk.
Okay.
With this year's taxes, and this is why it's like a combined issue, we would have to start putting aside that money because you can't defer more than 2 years in a row.
Okay.
So, in theory, we're going to have to carve $3 grand out of our budget
Every month.
every month minimum, because
Well, it's a good thing we got more coming in soon.
Yes. Well, listen, a good thing we want to be on sales, right?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. So that being said, that's $3 grand a month minimum. 2019's taxes will be due quarterly, so we have to pay them in March. Just understand that. It'll be March, June, September, December.
Okay.
So essentially that extra money for taxes is going to go into an entirely separate account that just disappears and we can't see it. Well, we can see it, but we can't touch it.
I understand, yes.
Because if we miss one of those payments, the IRS can cancel our payment agreement for 2018.
So we need to, so you were talking about for 2019, we need to put how much away every month?
This is going to be between 1,000 and 2,000, and this is, we're probably going to have more here, but I would say no less than $1,000 a month. No less, because theoretically we're going to make more money in 2019 than we did 2018,
yes.
right?
Yes.
So, in theory.
Okay.
But if we miss, these payments are due every 3 months. If we miss one, they collect on this.
Oh.
That's the bad news.
Okay, so we have to pay in real time every quarter for this is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, no problem.
Or we have to say, hey, we're going to defer for a second year,
2 years
but that
in
is
a row.
the final year we can defer,
Yeah.
and we've literally just, we're floating $4 grand a month
So
in
it's
bills.
just consecutively 2 or 2 total ever?
Consecutively. You can't have more than 2 out at the same time.
Okay, so technically if we deferred last year and we deferred this year, we'd be on 2 payment plans, and then starting next year in March, January, March, April 1st, we have to pay in real time.
Yes.
That might be a better strategy, but
It might be, but
I'll leave that up to you, man.
Well, I'm just presenting the numbers.
Yeah.
What we decide to do is us, okay?
Yeah.
I'm just presenting what I'm thinking about, and so that you guys know that, like, the problem with the payment plans, if we miss one, if we have a bad month, if we can't cover down,
Well,
all that shit goes away.
I am arguably the worst person at financial planning in this room, so I will trust you guys to make the right call for this.
I think, here's the thing, I think we can do it, but this is why
As soon as we fail, we have to defer
we have to
immediately.
put a safety net in place.
Right, okay.
That's money that we can pull out of in case we fail, or in case we've got a mass planner issue.
So
right?
what
We lose
are,
20% of our income.
What are our debts looking like?
So this isn't actually about total debts. This is about interest on debts, which currently is about $700 a month right now.
Interest on debt.
Yes.
Oh, jeez, okay.
Which is why this has been brought up.
Okay.
Now, if we use the website payments, assuming that we get them, by the way, that'll knock down interest on debts, which basically is just paying nothing essentially for us, right? Or we could use them to, like, put a safety net in place and pay some taxes, et cetera,
What
right?
safety net are you suggesting?
I think that we should keep, honestly, I think we should keep like at least 20% of a monthly net, or a monthly gross, in safety net. Because that's what we lost this last couple months.
Okay, so what is our average gross processing, like 40K?
Yeah, so if we kept like between 5 and 10, I mean, we can build up the safety net over a couple months, obviously, because we can't afford to just
Okay,
set
so
10 grand aside.
let's shoot for $8,000. That would be 20% of our average
But
gross
if
processing.
if we did that, basically it covers, like, the owners can, instead of saying, oh, we don't get paid, we can actually get paid, we just have to replenish it when
Sure.
times are better.
I think that's a great idea.
I like that idea too.
Because it basically just prevents any personal emergencies that we have.
So
That's a good thing.
It also wouldn't be a bad idea because we could pull from that to do arbitrations and shit.
what I'm hearing is that we need to increase sales by about 40% to cover all this shit.
If we wanted to cover it all in January, sure.
Okay.
So can you make like an actual plan or 2 plans? Be like, we can do it this way or this way. That way I have like an actual logistical what it looks like to be like,
Sure.
that looks good or this looks good. Or,
I got you.
I like, oh, this sounds good, but I have no idea how we're gonna
Can
make
I use part of this board here?
that possible. You can use that whole board.
Okay.
Here, on your side.
No, it's okay. I won't take that much longer. Okay, so plan A, plan B. We'll call this the James plan.
The James plan, Jesus.
Plan B.
Jesus.
Plan A.
You know my plan. Find a way to exempt ourselves from tax. and exempt
well,
the shit out of ourselves.
I
By
was
the way,
actually thinking,
a new colleague or contact that I have made a relationship with says that they have been doing tax exempt businesses for many years because they have a connect, and they would gladly introduce me to that connect so that I can be presented this step-by-step process.
I'm not saying it's not a good idea.
To make our business tax exempt.
Yes.
Would that be a good thing?
No, it would be a great thing.
Okay, cool. I will continue making that happen. Because I hate tax.
I don't like tax either. The problem that we're
I
gonna
hate
run into-
tax. Tax
the problem that
sucks.
we're gonna run into, guys, is we made, like, in a prorated way, we made $600,000 this year.
Yeah, last year.
Last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't make $1.5 million and not care
pay- and not
about
pay
taxes.
Yeah, I know.
We can't do that.
Yeah, I get it.
Because,
I get it.
well, the IRS has the biggest swinging dick on the planet.
I get it.
They will butt fuck us.
Yeah.
Wait. Are you really just going to do that, or are we going to go to violence?
I don't think that decision was ever made.
Well, I have a call at 3 apparently. So
Well, like, you can just take that call and go outside for 10 or 15
with no computers, no documentation, no nothing to go over a
take
Google
my
Doc.
laptop out and...
I have to go over a Google Doc though.
Yes, well, I'll have laptops at the table, and
I'm
there's
gonna keep
Wi-Fi
this
there.
now, and maybe we go after three.
Damn it, I want to go to violence, god damn it.
Okay, so
My
plan
fix.
A, we take the 10K or so that we're gonna get from website payments, and we. Okay, so plan A is we defer tax, right?
Defer 18.
We defer 2018.
Okay.
2019, we're gonna have to start putting away for almost no matter what. I mean, we could
Sure.
double defer, but
Sure.
But
We
this
may
is
as well-
going to catch up to us
we-
anyways eventually.
We should probably plan to not defer, but have that available if necessary.
Exactly.
I agree.
I'd rather have the secondary safety net of, hey, we're going to defer if we have to.
I agree, yes.
So, plan A would be we're going to take 10K towards CC. We're going to put away the 3K a month to do the deferment.
So it's maybe 7K and 3K here?
Well, if we get, there's no reason we shouldn't get MC. I don't know what the hell that email is, but we'll talk to them. But that's
They're
just
corrigible and they're business people and
Yeah.
they're working with us, so I'm not worried about it either.
I mean, so like SUP is another 2K on top of that. Like we'll have a little bit of funds to put away, and then each month we should plan on another 2K for the safety net. That's what I would say. And the only reason I'm saying that is this money is pull backable if we have to, and it basically goes to nothing right now.
Right.
Like it's a monthly expense that goes to nothing. It's
Right.
like doubling Zendesk for no reason. So
You're fine.
this is going to be defer. This is safety net, and we plan to absorb that 5K. Shit, we forgot.
So where's the 3 and the 2K coming from?
Okay, so this is a January expense.
Need 5K for the 3 and 2?
No, this is for the medical stuff. It's like 4.1,
For how long?
just in January.
So it's 4K every month?
You have to just in January. It's like 2,050 or something like that total. But we have to pay the first 2 months of the year in January.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that will cover us for February then. We don't have to make a payment for February.
No, we just will be like, so you'll
It's a
make the
lot of money
payment.
for benefits, man.
You'll make the payment,
It's a lot
and
of money.
then the rest of the
No,
payments
it's
are
a
spread
write-off.
out. But it's a write-off, yeah. So this helps to offset
The
this.
tax cost.
And
That's
this.
why that decision got made.
That's why that decision got made.
I understand.
Um,
I understand.
Yeah. So this is actually due on the 12th, FYI.
Well, fuck.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's why I was like, we should have a budgeting meeting.
I have no idea how that's gonna happen. You let us know what the fuck needs to happen.
So likely this isn't going to get implemented until like February.
Yeah.
Realistically, but I can file the paperwork for these two things and get them started.
It sounds like likely out of the 10K, 5 of it's going to go to medical, and the other 5 is going to go to credit cards, maybe.
It's very possible. What I would really like to do is I'd like to put the 10K on the credit cards, and if we have to pull the 5K back to pay it, we can do that.
Okay.
Because that's 5K we're not paying this month interest on.
Sure.
Interest at 25% yearly, but still.
Yeah, but that's due on the 12th, and you're talking about credit cards.
And it's the 2nd or 3rd today. Correct.
So, what, you're going to pay off the credit card on this whenever, and then use the credit card again on the 12th? That's not avoiding any interest.
No, it does. So
you don't need a
you pay interest after 30 days.
I don't give a shit right now.
Yeah.
Too much information.
Right. Now, other things that are on here is the Phil bonus.
The what bonus?
The Phil bonus.
Oh,
Filipino bonus.
Fuck, you didn't do that already?
Yeah, we totally did that when we lost 30% of our income in a month, James. I made that happen for you. Just don't worry about it.
I don't know. Shit. It ain't my department.
That's budgeting. So plan, essentially, if we can get collection on the certain things, like LVRE you said might be done next week.
Could you do me a favor, Justin?
What would you like?
Like today or tomorrow or Saturday or Monday or whatever, can you actually legitimately make a plan out of this instead of just whiteboard bullet points? Because like I understand in theory what you're saying, but like I would like in writing, this is all of our shit.
Date by date plan?
And yes.
Sure.
And this is what ideally I'd like to happen, and this is fallback number 1, and this is fallback number 2 if these things happen.
I can totally do that.
Please, yes.
This week.
Then I'm fine, Justin. I see that you're on top of this, and just give us the best strategy that we need to do.
Well, okay, so this week, what I'm going to do next week, because I should, for the love of God, I should have a free relative week next week, is I'm going to go out and sell next week.
Okay.
If, like I said, if I can bring in even one 20K website deal, yes, it stacks shit on us, but it stacks shit on us and allows us to compensate for a really bad November, December.
Yeah, and we have time to start another project.
Yeah. Well, we have to.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, like, we have to account for info delays that we're gonna get. Like, we should just put those people and be like, okay, you guys are on hold. We'll re-queue you when you give us information. We just have to have good drip email systems out, like, so that they can't blame us for it. Yes, so this is where we are right now.
Okay.
As far as the shit hitting the fan goes.
Okay.
What I need to know from you guys is, assuming that all things go bad, what are we capable or willing to not pay? Where do we cut? Give me a priority list of cutting things.
Taxes. That's my number 1.
No. Assume all things go bad. like we know that we would, if we defer taxes, we have to make some monthly payment. Like, there's literally nothing we can do about that, because if we fail, we lose the right to defer ever.
I don't know, Justin. I'm not qualified to make these kind of decisions.
Right now,
I made these decisions last year, and it ruined the company. So
that's why I got it. So here's our options. Okay, maybe I should have started with this. These are the options of where we cut. Okay, employees. I am kind of for this one right now, a little bit. Adam, in theory, we have 7 customer service people, right? But we don't, because one of them quit yesterday?
We have 5.
Okay, so we're down to 5. Right now, though, 3 of those 5, 3 people are in IGG. That's probably, we can't cut them. They have to stay.
Hold on. Are you lumping customer service
and
IGG
I'm combining
together?
all departments.
Okay, that's why your numbers are off.
Got it. That makes more sense. Somebody help me out then.
Okay. So
5 customer service.
Two
Five-
IGG.
Right. Two people in IGG, not including
Not
Dana.
including Dana.
That makes 7 people.
Or
Yes.
Matt, actually.
Matt Franz.
Janice.
Janice, I thought is back in customer
No.
service.
No.
onboarding.
No.
Way to be on top of things, brother.
Didn't
Show
you
your
take her
fist
back
bump.
for
I
onboarding?
never took her back.
Apparently not. And the only reason I know that, by the way, because I thought I
Why
was on
did
the
that
same
never
page as
happen?
James.
Because Dana told me to wait, and then that day never
Yeah.
came.
The only reason I know that is because I got an IGG report from Janice the other day to do a refund. I was like, what the fuck? Nobody tells me anything. My point being, though, that we have, so how many are in customer service? 5?
Yes.
In theory, they're team leads onboarding customer service reps.
I am just down 1 CS rep.
Okay, cool. And then there are Dana, Matt, Janice,
Yeah.
Franz in IGG.
Yes.
Okay, so we have 9 people, essentially. Even if all these go into place, we're talking about 10 signups a day.
2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I mean, on
Right.
average, we should have 10 signups a day, every day,
Within 2 to 3 weeks of us launching all.
I'm
of
just
the
trying to figure out,
reports.
like, because this is my problem. We have 5 people to handle customer service, and Adam and I are in there occasionally
It's bullshit.
to handle 10 signups a
But
day
we also
and
have
400
live chat
clients.
with live
and
chat,
live chat, right.
from all day
And tickets.
and tickets
Yes.
and phone calls and onboarding.
So, in employees, this is where I would choose to cut some. But I have to defer to Adam making a list of what his minimum requirements are and you making a list of what your minimum requirements are in these departments and going with that. If we chose to cut in that department. Fair enough?
Okay, well, we can figure that out
Yeah.
later.
So we can, so we have employees, we have some type of systems that we could, I mean, these are cut potential,
We
right?
don't really have systems that we can cut. I mean, they're minimal expenses.
Well, we
anyways.
kind of do a little bit. Like, for instance, Zendesk Text is $300 a month it's costing us right now, plus.
And text onboarding.
And it doesn't seem like we're getting a better result, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then why don't we just cut that out altogether?
Well, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. We could try to do no text onboarding for a month and see if it kills our numbers.
Well, so this is something that I want to run past Dana.
Yeah.
Because I'd really like to, like, we're only signing up 10 people a day at best. We should probably be able to give every one of them a phone call and do really quality service. Until we get that number to like 40, 50 a day, in which case, like, we have to go to some level of quantity, right? But I don't think we can get them to give us the information and be really personable over a text.